Good day, YouTube. I think it's like the 19th of October 2020, and this will be part 2 of this old beater scooter, this 2002 Honda Reflex. I have my assistant, Autumn Bear. Autumn, can you say hi? Hi, everybody. Come over here to help my dad today. Yeah, you need some help with this scooter thing. I'm pretty good at it there. Okay, sweetie, thank you for coming out, okay? And Mommy has to work from home today, and she wanted you out of the house. That's all right. She's my good girl. So, we tried a little bit yesterday to get this thing to start. I even jumped it with a big battery. It cranks, no fire. What I have found so far is I keep tearing into stuff. First off, I don't have the key, right? I have a key, but it's the wrong key. It moved this latch here. But the latches actually didn't work. It took me 2.5 hours to get the seat off. So I don't know, we'll figure with that. So evidently someone's maybe replaced the ignition switch along the way and then lost the key. So right now it's a challenge to come up with a key. But there's this well done switch here. I say well done, it looks almost factory. But the switch is actually paralleled, or it appears, I've just opened this up, it appears to have paralleled the ignition switch, which means if you turn it on, the ignition should turn on, but it doesn't. Not to say the switch is any good, but anyway, that's the first thing I'm going to look into is open this up a little more and test it and see what's going on. Is it in parallel with the ignition switch? Or is it in series with, like you'd have to have both switches on to make it work. But right now, nothing. We backfed the fuse box yesterday. Got all the dash lights, blinkers, headlights, all that stuff's working. But we're not sure about ignition, okay? Whoa, the headlights worked for a second. Something flashed for a second. That's bizarre. Whoa, headlight just came on. So this thing's been sitting out, that's why I'm working these switches. Whoa. That's why I'm working these switches, see if they'll work again, and now just exactly what I said. It appears that this switch is parallel this. So this is ignition bypass, okay? Need to know key to start it. Well, progress is being made as we speak. I believe that's correct. You'd want one headlight. Let's go for high beam. Yeah, now both headlights. We don't even have front turn signals. Somebody wrecked it, took them off. I think the taillight was working yesterday. Well, one of them is. That's 50%. Autumn, is 50% good enough? Dad, no. All has to work. Okay, sweetie. Well, progress. Let's see what happens here. Oh, I even got a high beam indicator. Left turn. Right turn. What's the other indicator? Oh, park. It's probably that parking brake, which I couldn't get to move yet. So the clock was working. The fuel gauge appears to be working. And I sniffed the fuel tank yesterday. It is got. It doesn't even smell antique gas. It smells okay gas. I'm got a half a mind to crank it now. Let me put you in the stand and see what happens. I also learned that it doesn't start with the side stand down. And I cranked it half the time with it up and half the time with it down yesterday. So spent a little time on the internet figuring out what this thing might need. Let's crank it. See what happens. I also learned it's got an electric fuel pump. Hit the button, nothing happens. Pull a brake or two in, nothing happens. What else could it need? Seat switch. Running out of ideas. I think any of these interlocks would keep it from cranking. I don't know if it'd make the ignition die or not. It probably does. Alright, let's crank it by jumping across the wires at the solenoid here. Okay. So we got to figure out what we don't have. Fuel or spark or both or something. But hey, it's progress, isn't it? Turn off the ignition switch, i.e. toggle switch. Alright. Well, we've made progress already this morning. That's good. Let me dig in and see how much more we got to take off this machine. It may be that I pull 2 or 3 scooters off the lift table and get this thing up where we can work on it, but we'll see how it goes. Let me check back with you a little bit. Alright, well, it looks a little different now, doesn't it? Got the body parts and stuff over there. I've never had one of these apart before, so it took me a little while to figure out where all the screws and fasteners and things were. Getting them all out of there. So now we have access. I don't know how to take that inner tub out right now. Just more screws, I'm guessing. But it did allow me access to the spark plug. Actually, that little access panel would have given me that. But so we'll get it all apart. Got to get it cleaned up anyway. So I thought, well, let's pull the plug out of it, which turns out to be fairly new. So far the oil was like new, and the spark plug was like new. I said, I wonder if we have spark. And you know, an hour ago when we tried it, we determined this switch on the dash that somebody has added is in lieu. That one right there is in lieu of the ignition switch. It's parallel to the ignition switch. So if you have a key, it would work. But so does that switch. Well, so does that switch. It's been sitting out in the weather, so it's got some issues. So I push on the starter and nothing. But then I pulled on the rear brake. Just right. And it turned over. So it's just not turning over at the moment. And so I pulled the plug out and we grounded it, and this thing's got spark. Now the plug was fuel fouled because I was probably had bypassed the ignition somehow or another. Did you see it? So it's got spark. So, that's exciting. A, it was fuel fouled, which means it was getting gas. B, it has spark. This thing ought to run, shouldn't it? Let me put that plug back in and let's give it a shot. Okay, spark plug is back in. I don't have any idea why this thing won't run. It should just fire right up. I do not know where a choke is, if there's a choke. It must be automatic or something. I don't know. But I'm confident. You ready? For the fire. brake, starter. Hey! Come on, baby. Run, baby, run! Not running good, but it's running. Just touched the gas and died. Just let it warm up what it will in idle mode here. Yeah, carburetor not very happy. Impressed. No smoke. I am going to let it run for a while and see how much it clears itself up. It seems to be kind of okay. Alright, I'll bring you back after a little while. I told a couple people after I bought this thing yesterday that I said I think underneath all that ugly and all that abuse, it's a pretty decent 12,000 mile scooter. And I guess I'm a little more impressed than I thought I would be. So, it had new oil in it. I mean, it would be a shame to drop it out of there. I might, but it would still be a shame to throw it away. It's got a brand new spark plug in it. The battery has charged up. The front tire's almost new. The back one needs to be replaced. And all the major parts were there, and there really wasn't anything really wrong with it other than sitting and being abused. Let me show you how easy it starts now that it's run and warmed up and stuff. And she just fires right up. So I put a half a can of seafoam in it in the gas tank and then topped it off with non-ethanol premium fuel. But I'm just going to run it a bunch today. The smoking's kind of cleared up, you know, the rings are kind of finding their home again. So I'll warm it up, cool it off. That'll be good for it. And then I guess we just start cleaning it up and detailing it. Decide what we're going to do with the plastics as far as paint. And make that the next project, I guess. So, okay, I'm going to check back with you in a little bit. And then I thought, well, I didn't even show you that it revs up and everything good. I mean, I don't think we need to fiddle with the carburetor at all. Back to fire. That's cool. That's cool. All right, well, shoot. I was anxious to get this for a project. Now I'm kind of anxious to go ride it. But that'll take some time. Let's figure out what's next. This thing has progressed faster than I anticipated. All right, cool. Hey, Facebook friends. This is my 2002 Honda Reflex scooter I bought yesterday. It's a real, piece of garbage. I got most of the body panels off of it so I could work on it. It was abandoned for quite a while. I picked it up for a couple $100. I got a title, and after a little bit of fiddle with it yesterday and this morning, actually got it running, and it runs well. I'll probably have 2 videos uploaded to my YouTube channel on this vehicle so far later today. Alright, this thing's pretty gross, so it's time to pressure wash again. I hit it with some simple green, and now it's time to hit it with some pressure. Get the air out. You get the idea. Autumn, you've been a big help today, haven't you, for Dad? Yeah, you've been a very good girl. That's my girls. Thank you, sweetie. All right. So I have made more progress on this scooter today than I ever thought I would. So I just kind of started cleaning things up a bit. I started with the trunk area. I screwed it back down. I had taken the screws loose, thinking it was all going to need to come out to get to the carburetor to rebuild it, but it doesn't need to be redone, so leave well enough alone. So cleaned everything up. After the pressure wash again, it appreciated the pressure wash again. I've sprayed a little Armor All or whatever around the dash. The colors kind of come back. Gauges look pretty good. I need to know what I'm missing. I took this box out, so I have that. There looks like there was something over the steering head here, so there's 4 bolt holes for something or other I need to find. The mirrors will clean up, repaint the stems. Somebody made a bracket because they broke this off here. So you'd have to buy that whole master cylinder, I guess, to get that piece. So just repaint that bracket, put it back. I got to figure out the key situation. That is the key right now, but I don't have a lock for the fuel door. But this thing came together amazing. I haven't spent $5 on this thing yet since I got it home. It was a $200 scooter, and I got a title. The battery was good. The spark plug was new. The oil is new. Once you get the skin off of it, it hasn't been all goofed with. cleaned up pretty good. It's going to need a tire in the back, but everything else is just going to clean up fine. So, you know, we're going to end this video here in a moment, fashionably early, and then we're going to move on to cosmetic issues on it and see about painting it. And I got to tell you, my thought as I was looking over all the potential colors, I was looking at the colors that these were, and I'm digging on the yellow. I actually have two yellow scooters that are hogging up the lift. Maybe different color yellow. This is a 1960 Cushman Trailster, and this is a 1959 Riverside Silver Pigeon. These were built by Mitsubishi. That is a 125cc air-cooled overhead valve engine for 1959. That was state of the art, but I haven't got them running yet. 82 Honda Urban Express, and then hiding off in the corners my 72 Honda CT70. So the Reflex is going to make a real nice addition to the fleet. So we're going to end this video here and move on to some cosmetic stuff. Thinking of painting it yellow. Yep, thinking of painting it yellow. Think I'll start off and paint. Sorry, I had to unload some memory on my memory card. So I think yellow's going to look pretty cool. Get it all cleaned up. This thing is going to be far from perfect, but presentable, yes. So, gang, I appreciate you coming along for this little journey. So far, two parts, two-part video, and we have the 2002 Honda Reflex running and riding, and it's smooth, and the brakes work, and the battery's good, and tires are fair, and not noisy, and all the gauges work, and oh my goodness, it's come a long ways in a short period of time, real short period of time. So come on back for the third video, which will be after, probably take a week or two, because we're going to be sanding and painting and making it decent and put her back together. In the meantime, I'm hunting for parts. So I'm going to need some turn signals and a whole bunch of screws and bolts and things like that. Figure out an ignition switch or just run with that toggle switch. I don't care. Gang, appreciate you coming along, watching, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, and hit the thumbs up on your way out the door, and we'll see you on the next one.